We have 47 counties with 47 governors, 47 deputy governors, 47 speakers, 47 deputy speakers, and you tell me that we are going to grow?
Africa listens. Africa waits. And when the thunder of P.L.O. Lumumba raises, it does not whisper, it does not beg, it shakes the very foundations.
Remember that the grass does not belong to you.
In the heart of Nairobi, in the grand hall where laws should be made, Lumumba raises his voice.
What is new about them? Nothing except their insatiable greed for power and the privileges that power offers.
Parliament, that symbol of people's hope, he brands it something else. A market of greed, a theater of shame, a playground for gluttons dressed in suits.
And I've seen Kenyans repeatedly electing individuals in the name of democracy who in other parts of the world would be completely unelectable.
Lumumba did not tiptoe. He confronts. He looks the house in the eye and tells them, you sit here as senators, as governors, as women representatives, as members of parliament. But what have you done for the Kenyan people? Nothing but line your pockets. 47 governors, each with a deputy, 67 senators, 47 women representatives, 290 members of parliament, over 2,000 MCAs, and beneath them, armies of assistants, advisors, drivers, bodyguards, all sipping from the vein of the taxpayer. And Lumumba bellows, Kenya is not a parliament. According to Lumumba, it is a pyramid scheme. A few at the top growing fat, millions at the bottom growing thin.
We said we should have no more than 18 counties, between 14 and 18. You created 47 of devolved units, each of which a governor thinks he or she is running a country.
To drive his knife deeper, Lumumba compares Kenya with other giants. China, 1.4 billion people, yet a disciplined assembly of limited members and governance that fears the whip of accountability. South Korea is smaller than Kenya in land, scared by war, yet today its streets glow with technology. Because corruption was crushed with still resolve, presidents impeached, tycoons jailed, no one is untouchable. And then the sting. Kenya, with 55 million citizens, has more representation than China, more governors than America's states, more members of county assemblies than Nigeria has senators. Yet, you are begging the IMF for loans. Is this representation, or is this gluttony disguised as governance? The chamber grows uneasy, but Lumumba is relentless.
We have a parliament whose only claim to fame is that they have insatiable appetite for our taxes. Our parliamentarians relative to our GDP are the best paid in the world. In the world. They want CDF, not because they want to serve us. Ask each one of them how many companies they have formed.
But as Lumumba asks, show me a nation that steals from itself and prospers. Oh, there is none. Show me a people who elect thieves and expect development. None. Kenya, you are a contradiction walking on two legs.
That is the tragedy. A culture of lawlessness and impunity has taken root in our country.
In Kenya, corruption is not hidden. It dances in daylight. It wears designer suits. It drives fuel guzzlers with police escorts. It preaches in churches and sits in cabinet. Billions vanish in dam projects that never see water. Ghost roads are paid for but never built. Medicines expire in warehouses while hospitals beg for gloves. And still, parliamentarians award themselves allowances, car grants, and fat pensions.
Na kuwa taifa limepigwa ngeta kwa lugha ya mtaa, na wahuni tunaowaita viongozi, na wahuni hawana haya.
Honorable thieves, Lumumba speaks. You steal from a child's classroom to build your mansion. You loot from a hostel bed to buy yourself another car. You cut from the youth's dream to fatten your campaign. If there is a God in heaven, he must be shaking his head at Kenya's parliament.
That we have men and women in positions of authority who do not care and think that they are larger than life, almost as large as death. But remind them that they are lived a Mobutu in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Remind them.
And what about the guardians? Failed institutions. The EACC, the DCI, the Auditor General, all these officers created to slay the dragon of corruption. Instead, they have become toothless dogs, barking without biting. EACC writes reports, but they never see the light. DCI investigates files that vanish into thin air. And the courts, they drag cases for 10 years, then release the accused for lack of evidence. And who are these accused? Members of this honorable house. In China, a corrupt minister is tried within months. In South Korea, even presidents face prison. But in Kenya, thieves are re-elected, looters are appointed, and suspects become the lawmakers. According to P.L.O. Lumumba, he asks, what madness is this? You criminalize poverty and yet you reward theft.
What we have are kakistocracies, governments by our very worst, kleptocratic kakistocracies.
The cancer of corruption in Kenya has persisted because it is cultural, because impunity is rewarded. Elections are not contests of ideas but of wallets. Votes are bought, and once power is won, leaders still to repay their debts. The voter sells conscience for 100 shillings. The leader buys loyalty with stolen millions. And so corruption becomes not an accident, but a system.
You play is your...
According to P.L.O. Lumumba, the fish in Kenya rots from the head. Leadership is business and not service. And parliament is the marketplace where this business is transacted.
And there is no way in which we are going to fight corruption without changing people's behavior. My prescription is that we must realize that those who engage in corruption belong to a different cadre of people and that they must never be owned.
Now Lumumba raises to his crescendo and says, honorable members, I accuse you. You are custodians of corruption, protectors of impunity and merchants of poverty. You sit under the title of parliament, but you live as parasites upon the people. Lumumba warns that nations collapse not from poverty, but from greed. He reminds the parliament that Rome did not fall because it lacked soldiers, but because corruption ate its hollow. If you do not change, according to Lumumba, Kenya will remain a giant shackled by thieves. You are 416 lawmakers, but without integrity. You are 416 liabilities.
The United States of America has only 50 states with a GDP of 23 trillion United States dollars. Nigeria has only 37 states. India 37. China 30 provinces. South Africa 9 provinces. We have 47 counties with 47 governors, 47 deputy governors, 47 speakers, 47 deputy speakers, and you tell me that we are going to grow.
And so his words hung in the chambers like smoke, choking every pretense in the parliament. Lumumba, the unbought voice, the relentless crusader has spoken. Will Kenya's parliament listen? Will they repent? Or will history record them as the generation that sold their nation for pieces of silver? Time will tell. Africa is watching and history never forgets. And this is the red mic.